Hi, those that are listening. This is my first recording to try to help those that maybe need a little extra information than what we're talking about in class. In class, a lot of times you'll find that I'm doing activities for you to go and discover those pieces of information in your text, using your textbook, having it at your fingertips. That's my main concern, is that you are able to do different activities and discover some things on your own. When you discover those things on your own, it adds a lot to how your brain develops and how you learn things in the future for when you read another novel. But also it's good to have a little backup if you are confused and understand better what's going on. So in this video, I'm going to go through each of the characters. What I would like for you to do is hopefully maybe have your journal or a piece of paper with you so you can note some things down as I talk. You don't have to copy all the slides for every word they say. You can even just listen if you want to, but if you'd like to take notes, that may help you. And you can pause this video at any time. If you want to pause it to write down something, you can do that. So that's one of the benefits of watching the video as well, is that you can pause. If you need to do something else, you can come back to it. So here we go. You can see on this first slide that I have the title of the book, what chapters I'm going to be discussing, and mainly this is going to be about the characters. But I have three pictures up here. One is a train of how some of the characters got to the part where they were going to get on a boat, and then you see a picture of some people on a boat in the water, and they're going towards this island. And then also you see kind of a picture of a table with a close-up view of 10 soldier figurines on the centerpiece of the table. So these are just some symbols: the train, the island, and the China doll soldier figures are some symbols in this book. So keep that in mind. In the following presentation, you're going to get to see the name, the occupation, a description of each character, the reason they're going to Indian Island, the crime they're accused of, the defense of their crime, and the truth about their crime, and then any unanswered questions or suspicions. Not all of these will be on every slide, but this is the overview of what I want to talk about with each person. Okay, Justice Lawrence Wargrave. He's a judge. That's his occupation, or that's his job. I have a gavel there representing he is a judge. Agatha Christie a lot of times uses words that refer to a reptile when she's talking about him. He does smoke cigars, and he's riding in first class on the train. He received an invitation to the island from Constance Comington. He's accused of causing the deaths of Edward Seaton. And his defense: Edward Seaton was guilty of a serious crime and was rightly sentenced to death. Is this the truth? Well, we don't know yet. So that's up in the air. Right now, I don't have any suspicions or unanswered questions of him. You may, though. So if you do have some questions or suspicions of Justice Lawrence Wargrave, write them down, ask them in class. This is Vera Claythorne. She's a games mistress, and what that means is that is the British term for a gym teacher. I know that kind of sounds a little funny, but yeah, that is the British term for a gym teacher, a games mistress. She's an attractive young woman, and she was in love with a man named Hugo, and she's riding in third class. She had thought that she was hired to become a secretary at Indian Island. She was accused of the murder of Cyril Ogilvy Hamilton by allowing him to drown. Her defense was that she tried to save Cyril, and Cyril was just a young boy. but she couldn't get to him in time. He had actually swam out to the middle of a body of water, and he wanted to try to get to the rock in the middle of the water, and she couldn't save him in time. Which is ironic because she is now on an island in the middle of a body of water. So think about that. The truth is she recounts Cyril's death, and it is very suspicious. So as we think about, did she let him drown? Did she not try to save him? We've got to think, is she a trustworthy character? And how does her love for Hugo play into this? Okay. Right now there's no suspensions or unanswered questions that I have, but if you have some, please note them down about Vera Claythorne. The next character is Captain Philip Lombard. He is a captain, and I would think of him maybe not as much of you think of a captain of a ship maybe, but he did sail over to Africa, and he is somewhat of a bigger guy. So you may not visualize him as a captain of a boat, but more of somebody that's bigger and buffer in the army, but younger than General MacArthur. He's a ladies' man, so again, he is a younger man, but he is in the I guess you would say things like the Army or Navy or Marines. He is in that type of occupation. He feels that he was hired to Indian Island but doesn't know why. But he was given some money. He was given 100 guineas, and guineas is a term referred to as the currency in Britain at that time. He was accused of killing 21 African natives by starving them to death. And his defense is he admits to their deaths but insists natives don't mind dying. What do you think of that quote? That natives don't mind dying. African natives, and that means they were originally born there in Africa. Why would he feel that they didn't mind to die? I think that's curious. The truth, he does admit to the crime, but has the defense that he didn't think they mind dying. What are your suspicions? What are your unanswered questions about him? Is he a cold man, killing 21 people, letting them starve to death? Would a real killer do something like that? Would somebody with compassion do something like that? What do you think of him? Okay. Emily Brent, and I love this picture. She is an older lady, very proper, wants you to use correct grammar just like I do. She sits up straight. She has good posture. We don't know her occupation. She is 65 years old, very self-righteous. She thinks she knows it all. She's old-fashioned. She sits up very straight, but she was riding in third class on the train. She was invited to Indian Island for a free vacation. Whom she thought invited her was Miss Oliver, because she doesn't know anybody with the last name's Owen, but she did know someone by the last name of Oliver, so she thought it was them. She was accused of being responsible for the death of Beatrice Taylor. Her defense, she's never done anything wrong in her life. Is that a defense? What do you think? Just because she's not done anything wrong ever, that means she couldn't have been responsible for the death of Beatrice Taylor? Is this the truth? General John MacArthur. General, he's an older man from the Army. He's going to the island to meet some old cronies, and that's a quote from the book, but cronies is a type of it means friends. He thought he was going there to meet some friends. He was accused of sending Arthur Richmond, who was having an affair with MacArthur's wife, to his death. So, there is a gentleman named Arthur Richmond who was having an affair with John MacArthur's wife. And as a general, he had the power to send this Arthur Richmond, who was a colleague of his, they worked together, he sent him out into the battlefield and he died. We don't know yet if Arthur Richmond knew that MacArthur knew, but his wife, who loved the guy that he had killed, she knew that he had ended up finding out. So think about that situation. You have General MacArthur was invited to the island, and his suspicious past is the fact that he had found out who his wife was having an affair with, one of his army buddies, and sent him to his death on the battlefield. His defense is he sent Arthur on a Renaissance mission during battle and he was killed. His defense was that he really didn't know that he was sending him into a mission where he would be killed. The truth is, discovered his wife was having an affair with Arthur, so he sent him on a mission knowing he would be killed. The truth of the matter is that General MacArthur did know that this man would be killed. So if you have any unanswered questions or are confused about that kind of love triangle there, please ask me in class. Dr. Armstrong, doctor with most rich female patients. He's wealthy. He does well in his doctor's office on a very ritzy street. He received a letter and a check asking him to come to check on Mrs. Owen's health. So he thought he was going there to see a patient. He's accused of causing the death of Louisa Mary Cleese. His defense is that he couldn't remember the patient, but she probably died on the operating table, and of course everyone always blames the doctor. However, the truth is he was drunk while he was performing the surgery, and therefore was responsible for killing her. Any questions you have about these, please note down. Okay, Anthony Marston, you can see right here, yes, he's the first to die. This happened at the end of chapter 4. He's unemployed. He's young and handsome, healthy. He drives a extremely fast car. He believes he's going to the island to party with his buddy Badger. He's accused of killing 2 young children, and his defense is that he accidentally ran over them, even though he is known for driving extremely fast, and admits to running them over. William Henry Bloor is a police officer, a detective. He uses an alias of Mr. Davis, but remember, Philip Lombard calls him out and says, "You are a liar. You are not Davis. You are not from South Africa." He believes he's going to the island to investigate the other guests and protect Mrs. Owen's jewelry, and accused of the death of James Stephen Landor, who died in prison because of the evidence brought against him by Bloor, who's a police officer. His defense, Bloor says that Landor was a crook and he was only performing his duty as a police officer. Thomas and Ethel Rogers. The hired help of the mansion, the butler and maid, married. Mrs. Rogers looks scared to death all the time. Hired by Mr. Owens to take care of the mansion. They're accused of the death of Jennifer Brady. Their defense is that they had to walk to the doctor when she fell ill. Unfortunately, it was all too late. Is this the truth? Should you suspect them of lying about this situation? Here is the nursery rhyme that we'll be going over more, and here's a visual of the island. Again, you can go back and stop this and copy some things down. This would be a great use to put as you listen to this, putting this in your chart, whether it be on Google Docs or you writing it down and then filling it on Google Docs. I hope this has helped. Please ask me any questions about this video. Have a great evening.